Hey guys, welcome back to Inktober Podfics. We are on day 18. Howl's Moving Castle is going to be the show that we're covering, and the prompt from the Inktober list is going to be Deal. Calcifer sat in his fireplace in their new home. He moved it freely. It was still a castle, in a way, but now is more of a home. Calcifer wouldn't have imagined his life would have gone this way all those years ago, making that deal with Howl, becoming the holder of Howl's heart. A part of Calcifer was grateful for it. He protected Howl all that time, and Howl protected him, giving him a place to live long past his siblings who had died that night in the rain of fire. If Howl hadn't caught him and given him the warmth of his own heart, he would have been burned out all that time ago. Now, Calcifer had enough strength to live on his own. He had given Howl back his heart, and in exchange, Calcifer was pretty sure this whole wacky family had taken his own heart. Sophie would tend to him, putting logs in his reach, reading stories to him in her soft, sweet voice. Markel would practice his spell work in the living room where Calcifer's room was, letting Calcifer see as the tiny human grew into himself, into his powers. He was still struggling with the potions and such, but his spellcasting was doing very nicely, and his beast form wasn't half bad either. It was a lion. The young man wanted something Sophie could ride on in case something happened. Howl didn't use his beast form anymore. Not since the war. Not that Calcifer could blame him, really. Calcifer was grateful for it. He hated seeing how that form ate away more and more of Howl's humanity. Another reason Calcifer was so glad he had Howl's heart at the time. If Howl had had his own heart when the order had been given, then they might not have had Howl here at all. That old witch had passed on a while ago. Sophie cried for her, set up a little funeral in her garden that Howl gifted her. It hurt them all to see Sophie sad, and they had grown closer to the crazy senile woman. Prince Justin would visit once in a while, bringing the family gifts. He'd bring Calcifer interesting wood to try. Calcifer found he liked cherry wood the most. He enjoyed the rich flavor, but he also liked how it drew the others closer to his flames, the scent alluring them in. Howl would spend his restless nights by Calcifer's side, sitting and resting his mind, until Sophie would come and bring him back to bed, giving him reassurances that he was allowed to have feelings like this to begin with. It didn't make him ugly, it made him human. She would tell him how grateful she was for it, to see him feeling anything, really. Calcifer was grateful for them all, watching them heal with each other. Markel got parents out of Sophie and Howl. Howl showed Sophie how to be a kid, how to live life. Calcifer had noted she didn't seem like she enjoyed many freedoms when she first arrived there. When Sophie had bad days, she'd clean, scrub every inch of the castle, the home site, the cottage site, and the shop. Scrub until her hands bled, until Howl came home and took her into his arms. He'd promised her he'd only gone to do his job, that he wouldn't return lifeless like he did all that time ago. They did what they could to hide it from the kid, but Markel was sharp. When he grew into a young man, it was harder to hide things like that from him. Markel was kind, thanks to them, so he knew to put tea on for Sophie, and to take over some of the cleaning when her anxiety got the better of her. That in the end, she was who carried Howl's heart, and he would never abandon her again. He learned how Howl needed a bit of extra praise in his depression, how to give that praise, or to get Sophie. Sophie was sometimes the only one who could calm Howl. She didn't seem to mind, her patience endless for him, her love bottomless for them all. And when the kid grew sad, Sophie would rock him in her arms. When he grew into a young man, she still did. She just couldn't lift him up fully anymore, holding him to her chest. When Sophie announced she was with child, well, that wasn't really a surprise. It was still the best miracle to have happened. Howl was simply elated, and Markel waited another 2 years to move out on his own adventures. He wanted to be there to help Sophie out. He really was a good kid. Calcifer had made that deal so long ago with the sole purpose of extending his own life, and Howl agreed to increase his own power. Neither of them could have foreseen this cozy home they had made being the result of that deal. The result of letting in some old lady from the wastelands and letting her touch their hearts. Thank you guys for listening to today's Podfic. I hope you guys really enjoyed where I took the story for this one. Let me know your guys' thoughts below, and I will catch you guys in the next fic.